When I first started the company, all I had was a used laptop, a small corner in my apartment, and an idea that everyone else thought was ridiculous. I had quit a comfortable job because I felt stuck. I knew I was meant to build something of my own, something different, even if I couldn't explain it fully yet. My wife at the time didn't share that vision. She tolerated it at first, assuming I'd give it up once it failed. Every conversation turned into a lecture about stability, about being realistic. The more I invested in my dream, the more disconnected we became. I tried to hold the marriage together. I thought once the business picked up, she'd understand. But she never saw the future I was building. All she saw were the late nights, the empty bank account, and a man who, to her, looked more like a failure than a husband. She finally gave me an ultimatum. Either I stopped the business and get a real job, or she was leaving. She walked out less than a month later. The divorce was rough, and she made sure she got what she thought was hers. We didn't have much at the time, but she took half of everything we did. She also left with something else, her pride. She genuinely believed I would crash and burn without her. She even told me during our last meeting that I'd come crawling back once reality smacks you in the face. Her new boyfriend, who became her husband shortly after, took a few digs at me too. I remember him chuckling and saying, "Some people just can't accept they're not meant to be successful." It stung deeply. I had lost not just my wife, but any emotional support I had left. I was alone, but I used that pain. I turned the silence in my apartment into focus. I worked until I collapsed. I studied competitors, perfected the product, pitched to investors, got rejected, and tried again. There were months I couldn't afford rent. Months I ate nothing but instant noodles and drank cheap coffee just to stay awake. Eventually, small victories came. A partnership here, a customer referral there. I reinvested every single cent back into the business. Then, slowly, things began to change. Word of mouth spread, more clients came, and I hired my first employee. Then a second. Within a few years, I went from barely surviving to running a company with nearly 100 employees. I was approached by larger firms interested in buying us out. At first, I said no, but then one offer came, $99 million, dollars, the kind of number you dream about. The deal took months to finalize legal reviews, negotiations, due diligence. It was stressful, but I kept it quiet. Only my closest team knew what was happening. I didn't post about it, didn't share anything online. I wanted to finish the journey in silence, just like I had started it. When the funds finally hit my account, I sat alone in my office for a long time. I didn't cheer, didn't cry, I just felt peace. Then the phone calls started, old friends, distant relatives, and eventually someone mentioned my ex-wife had heard. I ignored it at first, but more people came forward. Apparently, she and her husband had been laughing about it.